Hello to all my story lovers. Today's our story name is The Impartial Justice of King Krishna Dev Raya. This is story taken from Tales of Tenali Raman. Before go to the story, please like, share and subscribe. Now let's go to the story. Krishna Dev Raya had many enemies. One of them was the king of Golconda. The king wanted to kill King Krishna Dev Raya. He could not defeat him in war, so he sent a man to Vijayanagar to assassinate the king. The man made a detailed study of the king, his activities in the palace, the royal court, and all the courtiers. He also made study of the people who were very close to the king. Finally, he made plans and after great thinking chose Tenali Raman in his ploy. He noticed that the king had great faith in Tenali Raman. He deeply investigated and secretly inquired about Tenali Raman and his family. Also, he knew that Tenali Raman's brother-in-law had run away from his house when he was very young. He decided to pose as a runaway brother. He chose the appropriate time. He went to Tenali Raman's house when he was not present. He met his wife and introduced himself as her lost brother Trilok. He told her about his false but believable hardships and the great success story about his life. He told her about his big and widespread business. He presented her with costly saris, jewelry, and other gifts. He had also bought with him a variety of toys, books, and dresses for the children. He told this story with a lot of emotion and he repented so sincerely that finally she believed him. She felt he was truly her real brother. She welcomed him with love and invited him to stay at her home and also cook lunch for him. When Tenali Raman returned home, he was surprised to see a stranger in his house. His wife introduced the man as her own brother with a had run away long back. She was very much happy to have brother at last. Tenali Raman believed his words, so he cordially welcomed him. After a few weeks, the stranger wanted to take leave of them. Tenali Raman's wife cried and refused to let him leave. She coerced him to stay with her for a few more days. The assassin agreed to stay for some more time. The reason he gave for him staying back was that he wanted to check for some business opportunities in Vijayanagar. Actually, he was waiting for an opportunity to kill the king. Meanwhile, he studied Tenali Raman's handwriting and signature and mastered it by imitating with practice. In a few days, he got the opportunity. There was a big fair near the city. Tenali Raman and his family went to visit it. They asked the assassin to come, but he refused, pretending that he had a headache. The assassin waited until dark. At night, he sent an urgent message to king by a trustworthy messenger. He sent a letter forged by him with Tenali Raman's handwriting and signature. The king saw and believed it to be true. The king was requested to come to Tenali Raman's house. He was specially told to come alone because Tenali Raman was going to disclose very important and confidential matter to him. The king came alone and entered the house. It was dark inside the house. As soon as the king entered the hall, the assassin drew his sword and tried to kill the king. The king was alert and the master of sword fight. Krishna Dev Raya easily defeated him with his sword. He caught the assassin and called for guards who were waiting outside. They rushed inside. Having tied the culprit, they took him to the palace. After a series of torture, the culprit confessed all. Tenali Raman felt ashamed. He felt that when he became suspicious of this strange man, he should have confided in the king. He should have given more thought to the stranger's plan. He entirely blamed himself for this tragic incident. He begged the king that he must be punished. The king told him not to worry about it because he suspected foul play and had gone to the house with full preparation. He knew immediately when he got the letter. The letter was in Tenali Raman's handwriting, but the language was not, and the request also looked something out of the blue. Hearing all explanation and the consolation, Tenali Raman was not satisfied. He insisted that he had not done his duty. The assassin was staying in his house, and for this alone he deserved some punishment. The king said he would think about it. Next day, King Krishnadevaraya announced in the court, Tenali Raman being involved anyway with the king's enemy is punishable offense. The assassin was staying in your house and plotted to kill me. So for this the punishment is death. The queen and the Tenali Raman's family who were in the court felt bad. The court became silent. Tenali Raman knew that the king wanted to show that no one was above the law and the king's impartiality. King Krishnadevaraya knew that with his intelligence Tenali Raman would save himself. The king continued, Tenali Raman, you are most trusted minister and many times you have shown your loyalty towards me. This is your first error, so I grant you the option to choose your own way of death. Tenali Raman bowed to the king and said, Your Majesty, I have accepted the punishment. You are a noble king and just ruler. You have given me a freedom to choose the way of my death. Sir, I am requesting to allow me to die of old age. Saying so, he humbly bowed to the king. The court roared with laughter. The king also began to laugh, and Tenali Raman's friends and relatives gave a sigh of relief and happiness. Now, this is the end of the story. Do you like it? Then comment it. Subscribe my channel. Bye bye.